When it comes to staying hydrated while exercising, some people just stick to water, but many turn to sports drinks like Gatorade, Powerade, all the things to stock up on electrolytes. So our health expert, Dr. Kohli, joining us now. Dr. Kohli, I'm glad we're talking about this. I just started Orange Theory.
Did you?
Yes, I did.
Did they tell you to do electrolytes?
No, they don't, but
okay.
I feel like, because I just come with my bottle of water.
Okay.
Should I, first before we get into it, what do electrolytes do for the body?
I mean, they're so important. It's funny because when I was a doctor in training, the electrolyte emergencies scared me the most because they can really kill you within minutes. I mean, we're talking if your potassium goes too high, it can cause a cardiac arrhythmia. If your calcium goes too low, it can cause problems with the heart. If your sodium goes too low, it can cause you to go into a coma. So they regulate so many functions in our body, nerve function, muscle function, the way that our brain works, the way that our acid-base status is. And what's really cool and amazing about our electrolytes in our body, we don't think about our electrolytes all day. Our kidneys take care of it. There are hormones that are released that help to regulate it. And then we have our thirst and our hunger that also helps us to consume electrolytes and water, basically by drinking and eating. So it's a really finely balanced mechanism. And many of us think that we need electrolyte drinks to keep ourselves healthy.
Yeah, I was going to say, I've never had an electrolyte drink in my whole life.
Good for you.
I bet you have.
No, I haven't. I don't like the taste of that Gatorade.
Oh, yeah, I don't either. Okay.
So is water enough, and then when do you need them? Like, I mean, I'm guessing that people that run marathons, people should be doing this kind of thing.
So Sam is going to Orange Theory. She
Yes.
does not need an electrolyte drink.
Okay.
She needs
And I go
water.
once a week.
So basically for everyday exercise, we do not need it because we get our electrolytes from our food, okay? And if you take too many electrolytes, you're actually overloading your organs like your kidneys that have to then process them. And if you have bad kidneys, it can lead to problems. When you do need them, like you said, Kim, is if you're more than 60 to 90 minutes, I would say, of endurance activity, especially if it's hot and humid outside, if you have any kind of a GI illness. And at that time, you don't want to reach for Gatorade because that's a sports electrolyte drink. You want to reach for something that is designed to be like an oral rehydration therapy. You can get those at the drugstore because they have a different sodium and sugar balance than the sports drinks do. And then, for example, if you're not taking in a lot of food, like you're fasting, or colonoscopy prep is a great example where you're losing a lot of electrolytes with the diarrhea, but then you want to make sure you...
What if you just don't drink enough water during the day?
So it's not going to help you stay more hydrated. Even if you don't drink enough water. Yes.
Okay.
So what sodium does is it helps you hold on to water, but it doesn't add water. So if you don't have enough water, you're still stressing your organs out. So that is not okay. You have to make sure you drink enough water, especially here in Colorado where we tend to run dry. So you don't want to think about electrolyte solutions as a replacement for water. It's a medical intervention in very specific situations, but really water and food are your main sources of keeping your body running okay and your electrolytes.
What about our kiddos? When every time I go to basketball, soccer, you better believe everybody's got their Gatorade.
Yeah, they do.
I'm just doing my plain old ice water for my kids. Should I not?
No, I love that much better because
Okay.
what we're doing is giving our kids so much sugar and so much sodium. So if we think about the most popular sports drink in America, 120 ounce size of it has almost nearly your entire day's worth of sugar. So by giving our kids these electrolyte solutions, I'm thinking we're actually doing more harm than good. Now, if they're spending a lot of time outside, if they're, again, in a competitive sports league or something like that, or if they're sick. So I love electrolyte solutions like Pedialyte for the little ones when they get diarrhea or they're vomiting or something, they can't keep anything down, then it does help to rehydrate them quickly. But it's, again, not a replacement for water, not a replacement for food either. And, if you don't like the sports drinks, Kim, like Gatorade, you can always make your homemade electrolyte.
Which
I
is?
do like that. So coconut water is a great one.
Oh.
Lemonade is a great one as well. Milk.
Ooh, lemonade.
Milk is a great electrolyte solution because it
I had no idea
hydrates
milk
you.
was.
Me neither.
Yes.
Or lemonade.
Yes, exactly. And then you can control how much sugar and salt goes into it. So, whenever I've got a stomach bug or something like that, I do the homemade lemonade. I put a little sugar, or put a little salt in it, and a little bit of lemon, and that way I can kind of control what goes in it. I'm not taking in all these chemicals because you look at those electrolyte drinks they have.
I know people that say, well, I indulged too much the night before and then I drank it. Is that a good idea?
That's
Indulged in alcohol?
Yeah.
Or, yeah, so that can
What about
help.
coconut water the next day?
I love
Coconut
it.
water would
so
be
here's
better.
what I do.
Okay.
I indulge in alcohol. I mean, I don't drink alcohol, but if I did, or if I go out to eat and I know I've taken in a big amount of sodium, then I drink a coconut water the next day to help that potassium trick my body into getting rid of the sodium, because potassium and sodium are sort of the opposites. It lowers my blood pressure. So I really like an electrolyte drink as damage control the next day from a night out, from too much alcohol, from too much food. I think that's a good way to do it. But really those homemade ones like the coconut water that doesn't have a lot of sugar, you don't want to use them as a way to lose weight, because there are all these claims out there that they boost your metabolism, and they don't do that.
No.
They don't suppress your appetite. In fact, if anything, you're doing the opposite by taking in all that sugar and all that sodium. So,
Okay, you didn't need to sell me. I don't like them anyway, but I'm glad you told us because I know people
but you're going
are
to fill
really
your
into
water
them.
bottle up
Yeah,
like
I am.
Sam does, right?
Yeah, I am. I've got some right here. Thank you, Dr. Kohli.